Hello everybody, I'm Nathan bringing you the first installment of our Fabtek video series. Today we're going to be looking at changing the seal kit on a Fabtek C-Series centrifugal pump. Safety first, make sure to follow all lockout tagout procedures and shut off your power before removing the pump. For video purposes, we already have the pump removed, so we're ready to get in and change out the seal kit. We removed this pump with the flange completely off the unit. So what we want to do first is take this flange off. You're going to take your 9/16 wrench and take out these 3 bolts. Now with those out, we can take the flange off. You have your triangle gasket right there. We're going to set all of these aside so we don't lose them and we can find them later. Next, we're going to take our 9/16 wrench again. We're going to take off these 4 jam nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, all broken loose. Set these aside someplace safe so we don't lose them. Now, with a little bit of wiggling, should be able to slide this cover off. There we go. Not too bad. Make sure when you take it off, you take note of orientation. On this setup, we have the pump discharge facing the electrical box on the motor. We're going to take that off. Make sure we don't mess that up when we put it back together. Here we have our old casing O-ring. That's going to be garbage. That's what we're replacing here. Next, we're going to get the impeller off. Take your Allen wrench, 5mm Allen wrench, and a nice sturdy glove. Sometimes the edges of these impellers can be sharp, so pull it with a glove. Take your Allen wrench, we can break that impeller nut loose. Go ahead and take that out. Once again, trying to keep everything organized. Now, we should be able to slide this impeller up. There we go. I'm going to set that aside. Now that we've made it this far, you can see the mechanical seal down in there. That's what we're working on changing out. So now we're going to get this key off the shaft. Sometimes this takes a little bit of negotiating, but should be able to get it off. We're going to do it this way. We got that key loosened up, we can get that out. We're going to set that aside for now. You can take your snap ring pliers, get that snap ring out of there. Be careful not to overstretch it. There we go. Perfect. Got that. Set that aside for now. Take the spring off. And I can get those 4 out. Perfect. Oh, all right. Once again, using your 5mm Allen wrench, we can get these 4 bolts off, taking the motor bracket off of the motor. We are going to save these bolts, but the O-rings on them will be replaced with the new seal kit. Now that we've done that, we can pull up on here a little bit, so we can easily take out the rest of the seal. Now that we have that off, next step is to get out the rest of the mechanical seal. Let's go ahead and get this motor out of our way and clear up our workspace. we're going to get the rest of this mechanical seal out. We're going to take, we have a custom made wooden dowel here. You just need something that's 3/4 inch diameter so you can push it in there. Probably don't do that, give it a little tap. Oh, it came out really easy. And there's the rest of the seal. Now that we have that out, we can start putting in the new seal kit and reassembling. Okay, we have our new seal kit laid out. We brought the camera in for a better view. First thing we're going to do is take our ceramic seal seat right here. We're going to put some P80 emulsion lubricant on the outside. This can be found online. If you can't find it, dish soap and water will work. Now we're going to carefully set that into our pump motor bracket. You're going to take a clean towel and with your thumbs you're going to very gently press that in until it seats all the way on the bottom. There we go. Now that we have that done, we can go ahead and set this back onto the motor, making sure we keep orientation the same as when we took it off. Now we can go ahead and take our 4 M6 bolts. I have already applied the new O-rings onto them. We're going to take some more P80 emulsion lubricant, put them onto each of those, and drop them in. Now we can go ahead and get all 4 of these tightened down. Start by getting them hand tight, and then we will break out the torque wrench and we will torque them to 77 inch-pounds. There we go, got those all hand tight. We'll grab the torque wrench. Once again, that's 77 inch-pounds. Last one, there we go. Now we can take our rotating element and very carefully get some P80 emulsion just on the inside there. If you get anything onto either of the faces, you want to make sure to wipe it off on a clean towel. I'm going to go ahead and put this on, but you got to be sure that you don't cut it up on this lip on the motor shaft. And very carefully push that until we can get it to seat down. There we go. Now we can continue putting together the rest of our mechanical seal here. We have the spring and the washer that goes on top. And now we're going to get that snap ring back on. Push it down. We find that groove. There we go. Now we have to get this key back in the motor shaft. This can sometimes take a little time. It can sometimes be difficult. But if you keep working at it, you can get it in there. Okay, after a little bit of persuasion, we were able to get that key back on the impeller, on the motor shaft. Now we are ready to put the impeller back on, paying attention to orientation of that key, and slide it all the way down. There we go. Now we are going to take our impeller bolt with the thick washer, put that back in there. I'm going to grab my glove again, just in case the edge of that impeller is sharp. And just like the last bolts we torqued down, this one will also go to 77 inch-pounds. There we go. Now that we've gotten that taken care of, we're going to go ahead and back out these adjuster nuts till they're flush. About there. We're going to do that to all 4 of these. Once we get the impeller all back together, we will go through and adjust these and get them back to where they need to be. To get everything together, we want them nice and flush. There we go. Now we're going to take our new casing O-ring, some more P80 emulsion. Go ahead and get that on there. There we go. You want to put it on, but you want to put it only onto this first step. You don't want to put it all the way down to the bottom. So right on like that. There we go. And now we're ready to put the cover back on. Once again, paying attention to orientation when it came apart, we have the discharge facing the electrical box. Carefully put that back down over. You want to make sure you do not pinch that O-ring in between these two. That's why we only put it on that first step. There we go. Get it to seat down a little bit. Now we can take our 4 lock nuts that we took out earlier. We can put them on all 4 of these. There we go. And now we are ready to adjust this and get it back to where it needs to be. So now we're going to go ahead and bring up these adjuster nuts just until they touch that cover. You don't want to move this cover at all. This is your zero clearance. That's all 4 of them, just until they come up and touch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move this adjuster nut 1/12 of a turn. That essentially is moving where this point is to the middle of this flat. So we're going to move it that far, about 30 degrees. When we'll do that on all 4 of them. So there's that one. There's that. 3 and 4. Now we're going to go ahead and lock down the nuts. Gotta grab 5/8 and a 9/16. We're gonna make sure to hold the adjuster nut in place and don't move it like that. So we can lock down the lock nut and keep all this from moving. There we go. So now that those all 4 are locked in, we can take our 5mm Allen wrench and rotate the impeller, and you should hear no noise, just like that. If when you test your impeller, you do have binding or grinding, you're gonna go through and repeat the last steps. You're gonna loosen the lock nut, move this 1/12 again, lock it back down on all 4 of these, and then try it again. And keep doing that until your impeller sounds nice and clear and rotates freely. So now from here, we can go ahead and reinstall the mounting flange. These gaskets can be reused. They are not available in the seal kit. If you notice significant damage with it, it is best to replace it while you're at it. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there. Take our mounting flange, note the orientation that you want it. Put that there. Take our 3 bolts and get them started. These 3 bolts will be torqued down to 72 inch-pounds. working in a circular pattern to apply even pressure on that gasket. And there we go. And from here, you're ready to take your pump, reinstall it on the unit, and get everything back together, and you're back up and going.